Hey, this is Rob Anspach, and welcome back to another edition of eHeroes. This is episode 183, and we're going to talk about billing and collections. Now, my next guest specializes in managing the business of practicing law. So, welcome, Elizabeth Miller, and thanks for being here.
Hey, Rob, thanks for having me. There's something I like to talk about more than managing the business of practicing law.
That would be Walt Disney World, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It is, but it's also very rewarding. I love what I do. My clients are great. If I didn't love them, they wouldn't be my clients. So and I feel like I'm doing something to help them.
Right. And for all the listeners out there, the reason I interjected Walt Disney World is because for me, going to Disney, going to Florida is that symbol of success for me, because I've been going down almost every year for the last 20 some years. But if it wasn't for billing and collections, I would have never been able to do what I do and meet the people that I meet. And I'm glad that I was able to meet Elizabeth, because I think this is going to be a very interesting interview. And we're going to talk about her new book called Hacking Billable Hours.
Yay!
And it doesn't matter if you're a lawyer or not. You can take this information and utilize it in your own business, whether you're a carpet cleaner, whether you're an electrician, whether you're a dentist. It doesn't matter. I mean, billing and collections are the fundamental things that you need to do in order to make more money and to have a profitable business.
Yeah, but you know something, it's funny. I find that attorneys are really bad about billing and collection. You have a plumber come out to your house and that invoice almost gets to your house before the guy gets home. You know what I mean? But with attorneys, it's just like they take a retainer and then they sit on it and they work and they work. And, I've had clients that I do billing for, and like somebody has like a $10,000 bill and I'm like, why is this so much money? And then I go back and I go, wait a minute, they haven't gotten a bill for 6 months. Right. This person's going to have a heart attack. But that plumber bill, that's in your mailbox. Don't worry.
Yeah, and I work with a lot of attorneys, and I know a couple of years ago, I needed an attorney to do something. And it took 8 months for me to finally get a letter saying, hey, here's the invoice. And I'm like, wait a minute, this happened like a long time ago. What's going on? And I had to check my records to make sure I didn't pay it before. And it's, you guys are working.
That's the first thought that comes to you. I must have paid this. This was a really long time ago.
Right. And I'm thinking, are they using the same billing system as hospitals? And because they take forever to bill you out. It's crazy.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, though. It makes me wonder, like, how are they surviving? Mm-hmm. They're not billing. What is the firm? And I know what the answer is for a lot of firms. They're living off of taking in new retainers, mm-hmm. Because that usually goes into the operating account, and that's how they're floating their firm. But all these clients over here are not getting bills. They're not asking for replenishments. I mean, it's crazy. Like I said in my book, my lawyers have less than a 5% accounts receivable, which is amazing, But I look at some of these clients and they're owed $200,000 or $300,000. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. And what I've been seeing though lately is these law firms get so far behind in their billing that they'll say to their underlings, hey, you want to be a partner? All we need is X amount of money. You can be a partner. So then they're in the business of billing partners for money that they should have just billed their clients for.
Yep, absolutely. I just don't understand. For me, I send my bills out every month to my clients. Mm-hmm. And I hate to say, I don't overcharge. I'm very reasonable, but if I don't get paid, I'm not working. That's just how it is. And I can't understand how they can just let these things go. They're advancing costs, they're doing all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, that's money out there that belongs in your operating account.
Right.
you know
And then you have the whole problem of collections, which is a nightmare in itself, because you didn't bill when you were supposed to, and now months later people aren't paying you because they thought they already paid you to begin with, and now you're like, oh, now I have to collect and I have to do this, I have to make phone calls. If you would have just billed on time.
Yeah, well, my thing is, if you're gonna spend as much time to collect your money as you did doing the work, you need to find another business. I mean, because you know what? Law firms end up taking a bath sometimes on that money.
Right.
Eight or $9,000 and 10 months down the road, and the client doesn't have it. So what does the attorney do? Either he takes nothing, turns it over to collection, or makes an agreement with the client and they accept less money. So who lost out here? And so somehow it's just very hard to get attorneys to do this. And I'm here. I will do their billing for anybody out there. I'll do your billing for you. What it costs you to have me do it is what you're going to collect is going to far and away exceed what I'm going to charge to get it done. But just get it done.
Yeah. And I'm sure that you've heard all the excuses of why they can't do something, why they can't bill, why they can't collect. But to me, those excuses, really don't hold water, because honestly, it's their business. They should be collecting money. They should be billing when they should be billing. But I've heard so many, because a lot of lawyers are my clients as well, and they'll say, I was in court today, I couldn't deal with it, or the next week I have to prep for court. Okay, but you got a whole week.
I understand. But these are the excuses that I hear from people. I'll deal with it when I'm done with whatever. I can't deal with it right now. I can't, so I'm like, then let me do your billing and let's get it out to the clients. And those excuses, they just don't hold water. And of course, then, if you're the partner or whatever, and you're kind of lackadaisical about it, so your associate is lackadaisical and everybody's, and suddenly you have no billing. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Especially when you have people that you have to pay. And now you either have to borrow money to front, payroll. And to me, that's just another expense.
Or like I said, they're living off retainers, because a lot of areas of law, you take retainers from clients and they go into the operating account. So the firm is living off of these retainers without doing the billing. And it's a crazy cycle. But like I said, my thing is, I will do your billing. I will do your collection. I have clients that I look at their calendars a month out and I go, oh, there's mediation. And I send the client a retainer for a replenishment. So when that attorney goes to mediation, they already have the money in the bank to pay them for it. And this is how, like I said, my clients have less than a 5% accounts receivable.
Wow.
And that's awesome. I'd always rather have the money than have the client walking around with the money.
Yeah, and most people have credit cards now. They can front the money. They put it on a credit card. To me, I don't understand that whole concept of, hey, I'll give you 30 days or 60 days or 90 days. I'm not a bank. Utilize your own bank. Pay me.
Exactly. Well, I tell clients, and for a lot of them, I've changed it. We want payment in 5 days. Not, like you said, not 30 days, not whatever, because by the time the next billing cycle comes around, that money needs to be in the bank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I am and if somebody's not going to pay, I would want to know in a month, not in 6 months when you've run up all this kind of money.
Right.
But I get it. Attorneys are busy. They're practicing law. So you get someone to do the billing, you get someone to do the HR, you get someone to do the conflict resolution. If you're making that much money, you can afford to hire the people that are going to get the job done.
Right.
I mean, I don't have to tell you, I'm sure you know from your clients, you know.
Well, even in my past life, I had a carpet cleaning business, and I would bill just like everyone else did. I would do the service, send them a bill, and then I would sit there and wait for them to pay me. And I got so frustrated with that. I said, look, for that, nope, not doing that anymore. You pay it time and service. You guys got credit cards. You guys just pay me. And once I did that, it was like a whole complete mind shift, because the clients got better. They knew that I needed paid at time and service. And some of them would say, well, that's not how we do things. Change the rules. This is how I'm doing it. And so, sometimes you have to change the paradigm and say, look, I can't do this anymore. I have to do it a whole new way. The business relies on money coming in. And so if you want to get your bills paid, you have to do things different.
Absolutely, you do. And, charging interest to clients and all this other stuff, really, it's, to me anyway, it's not worth it. I would just rather be paid, but like I said, I have clients that are owed $200,000-$300,000, and I'm just, and now trying to collect it. I've told some of them, just get what you can, make a deal, lesson learned, and move forward. Because if you're going to waste all your time trying to collect that money, then what about this money over here? Right. So you have to, I know it's an expensive lesson, but it is what it is.
Yeah. And the thing is that then you took this information, you took this skill, and you created a book. And those that are watching this on video see that I have the proof copy of Hacking Billable Hours, which is Elizabeth's new book. And it's a very simplified book, but it gives you so much information on how to redo your billing. And to me, that, and the feedback you're getting is incredible.
Oh yeah, I've gotten great feedback. And I thought, well, it is a simple book, but I lay out the step by step, how to do it, what to do, who does it, and it's just very easy to follow. I don't like to write complicated books. Right. My last book, From Lawyer to Law Firm, which is around here somewhere. I'm like you, Rob. I read this book. Okay. This is a great book. Okay.
And she's holding Lessons from the Dojo, which is a book I wrote 7 years ago.
This book is awesome, and the thing is that I like it because you write the way you talk. Mm-hmm. And that's how I write it. I'm not, I've seen some of these books out there. I'm not going to mention any names of who they are, but it's like boring. And I don't want to make it boring, so here I have my book. Yay. You can breeze through this in no time because it's easy to follow, down to earth, follow the instructions, do what I tell you, and voila, you're going to have money, so what can I say?
Sometimes it's, and we talked about common sense off air before we got on the podcast, but everybody thinks that they have common sense until they don't. Mm-hmm. And my whole philosophy is keep it simple and utilize your common sense. And if you summed up all my books and all the clients I've worked with, it all comes down to common sense.
Yeah, absolutely it does. And you know what? Nobody even needs to understand the whatever, get somebody to do your billing. I'm not asking you to sit there and try to figure it out or whatever. I get that. You don't have time for it. I get it. but just get it done. What, without the excuses, without whatever. And whether it's that, whether it's HR, whether it's social media, which I know you do a lot of social media and marketing and all that kind of stuff. I mean, those people are like, this is not my area. I'm going to hire an expert, and they hire you, so just say to yourself, I'm not good at this stuff. I'm not, I don't have a master's degree. Maybe some of them do, but if you can't do it, get somebody to do it, because it doesn't make you unsuccessful. What is it that Steve Jobs or somebody said? We don't hire people. God, I can't even remember it. We don't hire people to tell them what to do. We hire smart people to tell us what to do, or something like that. I'm a lot more in awe of somebody that says, I don't know how to do this. I'm going to get an expert, rather than somebody that's going to try to figure it out and do a bad job.
Well, just because you have the ability to do something, like, I can fix cars. I know how to do it. I just choose not to, because I make more money doing what I do, what I love to do, than doing that. And I can just give it to somebody else, have them do it. They can do it much faster, and they're happy because they're making money, and I don't have to do it. So
yeah, you don't want me to fix your car, but but I get what you're saying, because it only makes sense. Let pay somebody to fix your car and do what you're good at and what you make money at, or whatever. It's the same thing with me. This is what I'm good at. This is what I do. Some people call me and waste my time or whatever, and then they never hire me. That's great, because those aren't the clients that I want anyway.
So what's one of the biggest mistakes that lawyers make when it comes to billing?
God, Rob, there's so many.
One.
I guess it's probably keeping track of their time, because if they wrote down their time, then somebody can do the billing.
Right.
But, it's like I tell my lawyers, I can't get inside your head and figure out what it is that you did on all these files. Only they know that.
Right.
So if they will sit down and at least input the time, I can go from there.
Yeah. And I know that reading your book, I can see these lawyers, they're sitting there a month from now going, I did how many hours for that client and how many for this? And somewhere along the line, they're going to lose time, and they're going to shortchange themselves. And had they just reviewed this at the end of every day, they'd be making more money.
Well, exactly, because, like I tell them, you cannot, I can't tell you what I did a month ago. Ask me what I did a month ago. I don't know. I don't even know what I had for breakfast yesterday. Okay, much less. So if somebody, and I've run into this where associates go, oh yeah, I'm going to sit down and do my billing at the end of the month. They're going to look through all their emails. They're going to try to remember. I guarantee you they lost 20% of their time, because they can't remember everything that they did. So keep the billing program open, do the work, enter a time slip, do the work, enter a time slip. It's not that hard.
Goes back to common sense, but yeah, we didn't all go to school to learn common sense. So
yeah, well, I'm not sure that they teach a class on common sense. It's like work ethic.
Yeah.
I tell people, I can't teach you work ethic. You either have it or you don't. I can train you, I can help you learn these skills, but if you don't have work ethic, same thing as common sense. I can't teach it to you, neither can you.
What got you started in all this, in billing and collection?
Actually, it's really funny. In 2013, my father committed suicide.
I'm sorry.
And so in 2014, I took a job as a paralegal, because I was an office administrator, And in 2014, after he committed suicide, I took a job as a paralegal because I couldn't handle all that responsibility. In 2015, I decided we wanted to move out of Florida, and I had taken a job in Montana, working as an administrator for a 500 attorney law firm. And 3 months after I moved up there, I got into a terrible car accident. I had a TBI. My car was wrecked. I had to come home. I got a job as an administrator down here, luckily, but I needed to take some time off because of my head injury.
Mm-hmm.
I told him, I said, listen, I need to take this time off. And he said, well, that's great, but we need somebody here. And I said, well, that's great because I need to get well, because whatever. So by December of 2015, I interviewed for a job. And the attorney hired me, and he goes, what hours do you want to work? And I said, all of them, because I didn't, and he goes, well, this job is part-time. And I went, oh no. So anyway, fast forward, and he goes, listen, I really want you. I'm going to help you find clients. You can build a business, whatever. And that was December. By the end of December, I had 4 other clients in addition to him. And this thing just took off. And here we are, like almost 7 years later.
Wow.
I mean, yeah. So, but it was all my experience, my schooling. I have an MBA, I have all these degrees and everything. And it just mushroomed into a great business. And I've never been happier. I love what I do, Rob.
They say sometimes, out of tragedy comes opportunity, and you took that opportunity, and even though it wasn't initially what you wanted, you turned it into something that's, beneficial to a lot of people.
Oh yeah, well, I was very lucky. I mean, I think all the moon and the stars and whatever were all lined up exactly the way I needed them. I mean, I started my business, and in 2016, I started doing webinars, and I was writing for Law Office Manager magazine. And then my first book came out, and it was a bestseller. And, so like I said, it's just mushroomed, and I have great clients. I love them to pieces, and I'm very happy with what I do, and I've been offered jobs making like 150, 200,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell them, sorry, but I'm not interested because I love what I do. I'm sure you must feel the same way.
Oh, I get job offers all the time, and I turn them down, because for me, the reason I created this business wasn't about money. And most people are like, what do you mean? It's all about money. No, it's not. For me, it's always been about freedom. I get to choose my own schedule. I get to choose my own clients. I get to do what I want. I can't do any of that working for someone else. It doesn't matter how much money I'm making from someone else, And I turned down a job that was very lucrative, and I said, no, I've been doing this. I've been coaching people for 20 years. I'm not going to stop. This is who I am.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. And you know what? When you say freedom, and it's not like you go, oh, today I'm not going to do anything. Today I'm going to watch TV. Today I'm going to do whatever. I mean, I'm busy. I'm very busy, but I love it so much that it doesn't matter that I'm busy, because I'm doing something that I absolutely love.
Right.
And I wouldn't trade it for, I don't know, somebody, even $1 million, I just wouldn't trade it for anything,
It's just, to me, it's the greatest freedom in the world, to do whatever I want. And it's not that I can do whatever I want. It's just, if I want to go fly to see a client, I can do that. If I want to just stay home and watch TV, I could do that. But the thing is, like you said, it's what I love to do.
Yeah.
And I love helping clients. I love seeing them make money, but or have a prosperous business is what I should say, because a lot of the clients that I service are the same way. It's all about their freedom. So the books, the marketing, all helps. But when it comes down to brass tacks, it's all about billing and collections.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the number one thing. I mean, everything else that I do, like HR and conflict resolution and all that kind of stuff is important. But if the money's not coming in, there's no firm. I mean, there's just no firm.
Yeah. And
You
but and here's you deal with a lot of attorneys, and I'm sure how they bill, their hourly rate is, there's no really rhyme or reason to what they do, but the majority of them probably should be charging higher.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And there are some that I try to get them to charge higher and, it's a back and forth kind of issue. But, like you said, I just wouldn't trade this for anything in the world. I mean, doing this, I could see myself working into my 70s without, you know what I mean? I just love it.
Yeah.
So
So you're in Florida, in the Orlando area, but you service attorneys everywhere.
yeah, I have attorneys in Texas. I have attorneys in New York, in California, in Georgia. I have clients everywhere. And most of them, a lot of them find me through Facebook,
Mhm.
because I'm pretty active there. Not so much LinkedIn. I'm trying to get better with that. But to be honest with you, Rob, I don't really even advertise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have a website that people can go to or whatever. It's word of mouth, it's things that people see or whatever. And I think that's why I have like the best clients.
Hmm.
Is they're word of mouth or referrals or whatever, and when they come to me, they already have in their mindset that they want to make money. They're
Hmm.
not sure how, and they're not so sure that it's their billing,
Hmm.
but they want to make money, they want to make things better, and there's something better, and I'm sure you feel the same way when you may help a client achieve what they want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes though it's like pulling hair because they have a concept in their mind of how their business should run, based on what they studied or based on what they've been told, and it's not always the case. And sometimes it's a complete opposite. But they're very stubborn, and so you got to be patient. And I'm not a very patient person, and sometimes I want to throat punch them, and that's just
Yeah.
me, But you know, a law firm is just like any other business. It has to
Oh,
make money.
absolutely. Absolutely. But and sometimes I find that if you redirect them a little bit or show them like this is a better way,
Yeah,
it's a psychology kind of, you know what I mean, when you
right.
when you deal with any kind of business,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. It's the and the thing is that every law firm is different, and it's just like every entrepreneurial venture is different. But those that are out there listening, and you guys have experienced this before, as I always tell you, simplify, simplify, simplify. But I find that a lot of law firms overcomplicate their marketing, and then they overcomplicate a lot of other things, and then they forget about the billing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to me, it's awful, but you know they don't understand, and we talked about this. They don't understand that their skill set is, being a lawyer, explaining legalese to their clients, what they can and can't do. Most of them have no idea how to market. They have no idea how to bill. So give all that stuff to other people.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I've been preaching too, and when it comes right down to it, they're gonna think in their own minds how it should be, and we have to, like I said, redirect them. And I've had some great successes that,
Mhm.
clients go, oh, I never knew it could be this way, and I've got clients that were making $200,000-300,000 a year, and now suddenly we're billing $1 million a year,
Right.
which to them is just incredible. But, and for me, it's a great sense of satisfaction,
Yeah.
so It is
Yeah.
what it is.
But I've always found that the cheaper the client, the more hassles involved.
Oh,
And so,
absolutely.
so a lot of the attorneys who come on board, and this is, and I'm not saying it's just attorneys. I'm saying this across the board to every business out there. When you start a business, most of your clients don't know that you're just starting this business unless you tell them.
Right.
And the problem is that when you start a business, you want to say, well, I want to keep my prices low to attract new clients. Clients don't know if you're a new business unless you tell them. So raise your prices right away, get them high enough that you're attracting the right client, the right
Right.
type of clients. So you're making money right off the bat instead of this, hey, I'm going to charge low stuff, because that all you're doing is attracting the clients who can't pay you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't want clients that can't pay, you know. And I always tell attorneys, you know, when you quote a fee to somebody and the client says, well, I'm not worried about that. I don't care, whatever it is, you know. That's a person that I'm going to worry about,
Right.
because they don't care what the fee is. They're not interested. Whereas if you say mention a fee to a client and the client says, let me see how I can pay, you know what I mean? That person is going to make sure that you pay. The
Right.
person that doesn't care how much you charge, they're not going to pay you. So, you know, I mean, yeah, I don't care if it's $20,000. What do I care? I'm not going to pay it, you
Right.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's very true. And you have to look for those clients. And I think that entrepreneurs need to be aware of that. There are people out there that'll say, hey, I can afford that, and they can't afford that. So ask more questions, you know, because honestly, if you got to spend time collecting this money,
Mhm.
it's not worth the client.
Well, it's like I tell people, if you're going to do work for free and not get paid, you need to be on the beach instead of worrying. But see, these are all points though, Rob, you know, to just to make an attorney understand about business and what you do and what you don't do. You know, like I would tell my clients, you know, raise your fees, make sure you get enough money up front, make sure you have a good retainer agreement, make sure, you know, maybe all the things that they don't think about that you and I would think about, you know, and those are the things that they need to pay attention to.
Yeah.
So, but I'm okay with it, and you should be too, because this is a great profession that we're involved in,
Right. Yeah.
you know?
I think every business should have a lawyer on speed dial.
Yep.
I think maybe you should have a couple lawyers, whether it's personal injury, whether it's business law, whether it's trademark attorney, whether it's Social Security, whatever you need, there's an attorney for.
Yeah, absolutely. There is. So, you know, and like you said, you know, keep an attorney on speed. I mean, I have attorneys that I can call when things happen. Like we've got a situation going on now. And I told my husband, I said, one more letter and I'm sending this to whoever, because I'm not going to deal with it, you know?
Yeah. So how do people find you? Where do they go?
Actually, my website is www.fromlawyertolawfirm.com. They can call me at 813-340-9569, or they can email me at liz.managementconsultant@gmail.com.
That's a long email.
Yeah, I know. But they'll figure out a way to find me. I'm all over Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn, and of course, buy
On
my book.
Amazon.
Yep.
And you, if you're listening, you can go, when you go to her website, she has links to the books that she's published, and
Yep.
you can go to Amazon and get Hacking Billable Hours, or you can buy her other book, which is called From Lawyer to Law Firm. And you
Yep.
can buy that directly from her through her website.
Yep. Because the law schools are using it as a textbook, so I lowered the price. You know, books are very expensive. I mean, sometimes they're more than the damn course. So I lowered the price by $100 to $49, and everybody can buy it on my website.
Yeah, and $49 from lawyer to law firm, and I think what, 13
Yeah.
on Amazon for the other book. So right there, you get a great combination of books that's going to teach you, billing. It's going to teach you how to take you being an individual lawyer to creating a law firm, and that's what you need. You need those books in your life that are going to set you straight. And then if you need sarcasm in any way, you get the Rob versus books. And
I love your sarcasm. Like I said, this book was phenomenal. Honestly, I sat down and wanted to read like maybe a chapter or so. And I thought, And
she's talking about lessons from the dojo. And that book I wrote in 2015, and it was designed as, because my kids were going through karate at the time. So it was designed as individual chapters. I mean, there was chapters based on belt levels.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So every page is a new lesson that it leads up to a next belt level. And a lot of karate studios bought it and they loved it. But it wasn't the most welcomed book. All my other books sold better. But that was the book I had more enjoyment writing, because it was my early entry into showcasing that sarcasm, that laughter, that common sense that everybody needs and wants. And then with the Rob versus books that I launched in 2019, I mean, they're full on sarcasm with a little bit of a life lesson underneath. And people are laughing and they're crying and they're Rob, write more and write more. And now I'm writing books 6 and 7, and I never thought I'd be write a book series, but people love them, and the world today needs more laughter.
Oh, absolutely it does. But I love that book. I sat down and I read right through it. And like at the end of every chapter, there's like a one-liner that kind of tells you what the chapter's about. And I just kept reading. So I'm anxious to, I'm anxious to read this other book. This one.
Rob versus Humanity.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious to read that. So we'll see.
Yeah, and for all those that are out there, please write a book. Get your stories out there, showcase what you do and how you do it, and it doesn't have to be a 500-page book. Most of the books that I write are 120 to 150 pages, because I want people to consume them in about 2 hours,
right?
And then go about their life. And for me, it was even as a kid, I always thought these big, thick books were intimidating, and I didn't want that. And so when I started writing books, it's like I want to keep them simple. I want to keep them to the point. I want to keep people entertained. And then when they're done, they move on with their life. And 30 some odd books later, that's how it is.
That's what I did with Hacking Billable Hours. I just wanted to write this like an instructional thing. There's a few funny things in there, but it's just read right through it, get it, do it, and make your money. And, so we'll see. But anyway, I loved your book. We'll see about the next one, and, we'll see what happens. So keep billing, lawyers.
And this is what makes Elizabeth an e-hero. She's always out there educating and letting lawyers know how to make more money. So we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Adios.
Thanks, Rob.